Good evening, folks. Welcome to another regularly scheduled meeting of the Sac Area School District Board of School Directors. As always, thanks for coming out and taking an interest in your school community. A couple reminders for the evening. As always, it is a recorded meeting. It's available for rebroadcast on Comcast Channel 28 as well as Verizon Channel 46, if you so choose. There are public comment periods on the blue and yellow sheets. I think most everybody, if not everybody's familiar with those, and we'll entertain those throughout the course of the evening. And the last thing is, I've asked out for several years, this board has asked for us to conduct ourselves in the most civil way possible. Unfortunately, for boards around us and other states, that hasn't always happened, but thank you for doing that and following through. As is the spirit of keeping a meeting safe and running as effectively as possible, we're going to ask and insist on that. If people are unable to do that, we will ask you to please leave the building. Much like last month during the meeting, great meeting, so that's all we're asking for once again. At this time, if you please rise and join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Barnett. Here. Mr. Bronchill. Present. Mr. Holland. Ms. Lizette.
Present.
Mr. Formica. Here. Mr. Keith.
Here.
Mr. Landis.
Here.
Mr. Nelson. Here. Ms. Wheeler.
Here.
And Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. That's beyond your, I think we're going to start with a spotlight. Good evening.
Mr. Keith, I'd like to raise an objection. I know I raised one for the previous meeting, but this is a different meeting.
Okay.
I'd like to raise an objection under the Sunshine Act, Section 710.1, subsection C. I had emailed the board, I know others have as well, that requested the meeting be moved to a larger venue. Thankfully, that is not necessary tonight, but I just want to raise an objection that not doing that could have prevented people from attending that wanted to. Also, I would like to note that several items aren't properly explained in the agenda, and for the public to be properly informed that you consider dividing the motion on those items. I know it's not required to for them, but I'm just throwing that out there. Thank you.
All right, spotlight video.
And then we have a video that's highlighting the partners program in Lee Valley Middle School. So, Mr. Thomas.
Did I get it? Do you want me to do it? You can hold the cup? Yeah. Hi, I'm Melissa Durman and I'm the life skills teacher here at Indian Valley. One of our focus options is our Partners Program. Our Partners Program is an opportunity for our students in the general education classroom to mentor our students in the life skills classroom. Partners occurs Tuesday through Friday mornings, and we do various activities together. On Thursday mornings, we bake various treats like muffins and cookies and brownies, and we sell them through our coffee cart service on Fridays. What do we do at the Valley Cafe?
Take orders, Lord coffee on Friday, $1.
Thank you. Peach. A treat. Thank you, Peach. Alright, we'll get some money to the $2. Alright, so over here, come back here. What do we serve at the Valley Cafe?
Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, apple cider drinks.
My favorite part about being in partners is getting to do activities with all the people and getting to learn more about them while doing what they like to do. My favorite part about being in partners is getting to learn more about the low school kids and their inner and outer school activities.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm gonna pay for it. Is that okay? Yeah. How much is it? How about two? Okay. Thank you very much. This is coffee.
I love to make new friends. It gives me a chance to talk to them. It also helps me practice talking to adults and delivering things to them.
Thanks so much.
But I do am proud of our students, and I've gotten the pleasure to see these students rise to our systems. Thank you for your indulgence.
Thanks, Dr. Gallagher. Great videos. Mitchie out there. That's awesome. We only get you, Mitch. Well done. All right, folks, next on to our report of student representatives to the board. Student reps, if you would, please. And just a reminder for folks that might not have been here last month, please introduce yourself, what grade you're in, and present your agenda.
Hello everyone, my name is Amelia, and today I'm going to be talking about what happened in school during the month of October. So homecoming was the weekend of October 4th, 2024, and almost 450 students attended the tailgate before the football game, and even more joined us for the dance that next day. There was over 1,500 students who came to the providing career information about their professions and businesses. We had over 70 professionals join us for this event, and all of the sophomores and juniors attended this event. On October 23rd, which was yesterday, the high school hosted a BMX trick assembly. The No Hate High School Tour is an impactful educational program that uses the energy and excitement of action sports to deliver critical bullying prevention tools, techniques, and information to students. The program features athletes speaking to students about their experiences with bullying, overcoming obstacles, being an ally, inclusion, kindness, surrounding yourself with positive influences, problem solving, and mental health awareness. I attended this event. I think it was really cool, and the people who were flipping the mics were really talented, and I just don't think I could ever do anything like that, so it was great. This morning, the Indy Valley Character Counts Coalition hosted its biannual Community Leaders Breakfast. Several middle and high school students, including me, attended to hear about the risk and protective factors identified by the youth in Centerton. The coalition presented data to support reasons we need to stay connected and the reasons we have to celebrate. It was a really great event, and I enjoyed attending it. Now I'm going to hand it over to Rowan.
Hello, my name is Rowan Aldridge. I'm a senior at South Mary High School. And to follow what Amelia said on the news, I'm going to follow with sports. Sports have been doing great at South Mary High School this year, as there are 12 sports that are mentioned in this section, so it will be lengthy. With field hockey team finished the regular season with a record of 14-4. They qualified for districts for the 7th consecutive season, entering as the number 8 seed. For co-ed golf, the golf team finished with an 11-3 record and were regular season co-champions of the Colonial Division. They sent 8 golfers to the Suburban 1 playoffs, and 3 successfully qualified for the District 1 tournament. For football, varsity football has currently a 5-3 record. They are 4-1 in the SOL Continental, with 2 regular season league games remaining. JV football is 8-0 with 2 games remaining. For boys soccer has had one of the best seasons in recent history, finishing with a 15-3 record. They had hosted their first round playoff game a few days ago, and they won. And then tonight, kickoff at 10 minutes ago, was their second playoff game. Good luck to those boys. Girls soccer had a turnaround season focused on changing the culture of the program. They finished 8-10 overall and 2-8 in league play. For girls volleyball ended the season with a senior night win against Quakertown, finishing with a record of 10-12. In the final few weeks of the season, they earned wins against Quakertown and Dock Academy. For boys water polo has a current record of 13-9. They have lost 5 one-goal games, several of which were overtime losses. Very, very close losses for the boys. They are doing great. Girls water polo is currently 8-5 in conference and 11-7 overall, putting them in the top 3 position in the Eastern Conference and securing an auto bid spot to the state championship tournament. For girls tennis, the girls tennis team finished the season with an 8-6 record and 4th place in the league. For boys cross country, at the Suburban 1 League Championship, Colonial Division, the boys cross country team placed 3rd as a team, and they will be hosting an invitation. For girls cross country, their overall record was 3-4, and they will be looking ahead to the district championship on Friday, October 25th. And finally, to end this with cheerleading, the varsity cheer team started off their competition season early this year at Phoenixville High School. They achieved the first place trophy with one of their highest scoring performances, as well as one of their earliest season performances. Thank you. Back to me.
Thank you, Rowan. So what's coming up in the school now is on October 25th, tomorrow, the Souderton Area High School will recognize the first students of the month of the year, which is a great thing. And on November 2nd, Interact Club and Support Our Troops are hosting our 8th annual Veterans Day brunch for our local veterans to attend. This is a great opportunity to recognize our local veterans and hear their stories and eat breakfast with them. On October 30th, FCA is hosting Fields of Faith from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. in the auditorium, in the stadium, not auditorium. Also on October 30th, Rock Band is hosting a fundraiser in the auditorium from 6:30 to 9 p.m. The high school is gearing up for the fall play. This year, the fall plays are Katie Sobak's one-act play, Wait for Me, and Moriarty's Daughter. The Athletic Leadership Council, Souderton Area High School Athletic Leadership Council will be hosting its 2nd annual leadership conference on November 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. And there will be 80 student-athlete leaders from the 29 different sports at the high school, as well as other leaders from schools across from the state.
Community and drum, wow, I guess it's the first thing that comes to mind. Just to share before, this is all in addition to your coursework and your academics and everything else that schools are about. But we've always said it's arts, it's academics, it's athletics, and I think you unpack that very nicely. Thank you for all that's going on. Sounds like we're supporting not only community, but enriching our students. Rowan, that's probably one of the strongest sports reports I've heard here in a long time, if ever.
Yes.
Credit to our teams for doing so well. I think this community collectively wishes them well in their season so far, and the playoffs to come, and go for the boys tonight when they're playing on the field right up the street. So thank you both. Any comments or questions from the board?
I want to introduce Nadia. I know you don't do that. Nadia, you are the apprentice tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, learning how to
Yes.
see how this is all done. Nadia was also a speaker at the Character Counts practice. Great job.
You have good mentors there. Rowan, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
very much.
All right, before we move on to public comments, I'm going to turn it over to our speaker for a moment, please.
Good evening, everyone. As I noted in the last board meeting, and I'll note again, it's important to understand that the purpose of this meeting is a public school board meeting. I apologize for that. With respect to the first public comment, that is limited to agenda items only, and each person is entitled to 3 minutes to speak, and we understand people have spoken up to do that. With respect to the second period of public comment, that is open to non-agenda items, but we have limited it to 30 minutes, which we are permitted to do, and we will randomize to the extent that there are more than 30 minutes worth of comments. We will randomize how we select those folks, and certainly we would encourage new information that has perhaps not been shared with the board before. It is important to understand that during public comment period, one should not accept a view, silence, or a non-response from the board as acceptance or disagreement with the board. It is routine. I've had numbers of school board meetings. Rarely, if ever, does the board respond to public comment. It is not because it's insensitive to whatever comments you're raising so much as it's really not supposed to be a time to debate. The purpose of it is for the public to have an opportunity to address their elected officials and for them to hear what their concerns are. And certainly, sometimes concerns raised may be dealt with at a future board meeting. But again, I want to make sure that we're clear that that's the purpose for which we intend to move forward. So with that, we have those. Again, the first public comment is limited to agenda items only, and we have to stop. So the list of folks for agenda items.
Mr. Taylor, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Denise Bowers on agendas 7-4, 7-14, and 7-17.
I didn't write anything formal, I just have some basic questions here. About the bond that the details that you're confirming tonight and consenting to. Would you mind reminding the audience the basic details of that total bond amount, interest rate, and what the bond actually is going for? I know we discussed this, it's been years ago. I went to meetings, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, I think if you want to seek additional information from Mr. Taylor afterwards, Mr. Taylor, unless you have a short answer you can offer.
Real quick, we had a presentation from our financial advisor, PFM, in September, and she reviewed the future borrowings, so probably in 3 stages for the renovations at the 3 upcoming schools, West Broad, South Coast, Indian Crest, and also for the multi-purpose field. She detailed what the debt service is estimated to be. We won't price out until January, so we won't know exactly what the interest rate is until then. But the parameter resolution will set a maximum interest rate. It sets a maximum amount that we can borrow in the time frame for borrowing. So it's not setting the exact borrowing, it's the limitations that our financial advisors can see bonds in January. But the projected borrowings, even the 3 future borrowings total, the projected debt service would be less than we've had each of the last 2 years.
Right. What is the current interest rate on our current bonds? And you said that all that's going to get settled. Does that payment to retire the bond obligation come out of the new bond?
No, that's not, we're not refinancing anything. All of our bonds, we take out bond issuances, we set it for some period of time, 10, 15, 20 years, we amortize it, and the bonds are sold in $5,000 increments, and you pay them off over time. So
they're going to literally be all paid off?
Not all of them, but a significant portion, so that our annual amount would be significantly less than we have.
Okay, cool. And I don't remember which agenda items are which, but I noticed in the workshop approval, I have to, there's one for Dr. Gallagher there that he already attended that we're approving tonight. I was just curious as to how that actually happens, unless I'm misreading the details there. And finally, there are a couple of expulsions that are on the agenda for consent tonight. I find it remarkably difficult to understand how the expulsions can happen without acknowledging the elephant in the room. The kids are getting expelled for online bullying, and yet we have a person on the board who is...
Hold on a second. Please pause the time for a second. Pause your time. Just pause the time.
I don't need it.
Okay.
I don't know your name though, actually.
Sure, I'm Tim Gilsbach, I'm attorney with Fox.
Gilspot.
Gilsbach, John
Thank you.
Gilsbach, Fox.
Okay.
I want to be careful here because we obviously can't comment on what's going on with expulsion. It
Okay.
involves students, and obviously, student information we.
I'm not saying any of that.
I understand that. In addition to that, you're moving a little way beyond what's the agenda item. I'm not sure.
Expulsions are on the agenda. Students were expelled for reasons that we have addressed here, tried to address for people on the board. And
Well,
again, crickets on that. That's the point I wanted to make. I feel that probably made it, so I don't want to be too confrontational, but you understand my point. There are things the board can do, and you've chosen not to. Thank you very much for your time.
Again, we'll move beyond the agenda items now. I'm not trying to do conversation with you.
Expulsions are on the agenda.
Thank you for your time.
Next one for public comment on agenda items is John Waldenberger, and it says the topic is new old business sunshine act, so it's not really an agenda item.
Short of that? Because a typical agenda in under Robert's rules features new and old business. And as I checked, we follow Robert's rules. No modified version. There is a unfinished new business, number 11. I think I have to paper copy this. Not sure why we have to hide and, consult with an attorney for the public to make a First Amendment exercise here.
Hey, John, we can't hear you.
I said, I don't know why I have to hide behind an attorney to consult on First Amendment.
I'm going to let you know if it's going to happen or not, so bear with us 1 second.
The first public comment period is related to agenda items the board is going to take action on. I guess I'm not understanding.
Oh, this is something they can take action on.
the-
It's part of number 11, unfinished new business.
Yeah, but it's action. So during that part of the agenda meeting, the board doesn't take official action. I believe it's.
But they can.
I think- like, actually-
Last I checked under Roberts, they can.
Well, I don't, again, we're bound by the Sunshine Act, and I don't know that we can in fact, add new business during the meeting.
You can. Roberts permits it. And so does the Sunshine. If you let me say what I need to say, I will cover that actually.
This is actually what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the opportunity to switch it over, and the clickers are going to stop, guys, so we are going to ask people to leave. It's just the end of it. We're going to keep moving. It's going to be civil, end of story. So if you'd like to move it to the next topic, they'll switch your card for you. No problem.
No, I think this is relevant to this.
We're going to default to the attorney's opinion on this, and we're going to stand behind
Then
that.
I'll default to my attorney.
Understood. Thank you for your comment.
Next up, we have Alex Swisser on consent agenda items 7.3, 7.14, 7.15, and 7.16.
Hi, Alex Wisser, Upper Southford Township. I wanted to point out that today, as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, the agenda for tonight's board meeting did not include attachments for the consent item agendas 7.3, the financial statements and checklistings, 7.14, the bond issue parameters resolution, 7.15, the revised proposal from GKO Architects for Design Services at Southford Hills Elementary School Edition, and 7.16, the approval of the disposal, of excess, obsolete, and non-repairable items and equipment. Attachments have been included for the past few months, and I'm unsure why they were left off this month. I hope that the attachments will be included on future meeting agendas so that taxpayers and residents can see how the district is managing and spending taxpayer funds before such items are voted on by the board. Thank you.
And that's all that we have signed up for non-agenda, for agenda items.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. All right, folks, moving on.
Just said I need to
Next
say.
topic will be before the president from an executive session standpoint. Number 2, executive session was held on Wednesday, October 9, 2024 to discuss legal matters. The session lasted approximately 30 minutes. The executive session was held prior to tonight's meeting to discuss legal matters and personnel matters, including staff appointments and resignations. That session lasted approximately 45 minutes. Dr. Gallagher, I'm going to turn it to you for comments and consent action, please.
Thank you, Mr. Keith. First, I want to address that I am fortunate to get out to our buildings almost on a daily basis, and I'm very pleased to report these great things that are happening. Our student representatives mentioned some of them, but that just goes down to the system. We had our career day, as I mentioned, 75 speakers almost on career day. I got to see some of them. It was excellent. But what's happening in our schools every day is just why we're up here. That's why we're up here. And I'm proud of our schools, I'm proud of our teachers, I'm proud of our staff, I'm proud of our parents. And I just want to stress how well things are going. Yeah, there's bumps in the road in every school. That's how schools are. I've been doing this a long time. And there's some things that were insinuated, I believe, on social media that just simply aren't true. Also, back in, I believe, September, Mr. Keith had asked me to create a committee to address some of the issues that we've been dealing with in the community and in the school community in particular. And going back and forth thinking, what's the best way to do this? And the best way to do this is we created our most recent comprehensive plan committee back in May. So what we did is worked through and added several additional community members, all parents, also parents who may serve dual roles, who also represent a business or another type of agency. I'm pleased to say that this past Monday we had a meeting here in this room at the end of the day from 3:30 till just after 5 o'clock. And it was really meaningful conversation, open conversation, honest conversation. One of our action steps is culture of belonging. And that's a big piece of this upcoming comprehensive plan. You saw it in the video tonight. That's an example. But I want to thank Dr. Kate Kennedy-Riley, our Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. She was the internal coordinator, facilitator of this. The Bucks County IU is our outside facilitator. And Dr. Kennedy-Riley did a phenomenal job facilitating what could be a difficult conversation at times. And we did bring the new members in last week to just get them caught up. And then we added them to the big meeting. The next couple steps is we are creating 3 subgroups where the big group of 75 will sign up for a subgroup. That subgroup will meet during the next couple months. We'll bring the large group back. And eventually we will report out at in this venue, or EP committee probably, and then it will come to here on what the committee has come up with. This is required by the Department of Education, but SADCM takes it a step further. We can do it simply, just by checking boxes in the system that PTE provides, Pennsylvania Department of Education provides. But we always take it a step further because this guides our work for the next 3 years. So I'm excited. I was really humbled by what I heard on Monday from our community members, our staff members, and our students. We also added students this year. So, Mr. Keith, I will be giving you updates on this and the board as we move forward.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher.
I also wanted to say that last night was the annual Indian Valley versus Indian Crest football game. And it was played on the turf at the high school. And for the first time in a very long time, Indian Valley beat Indian Crest. So this was really a big deal, news story here in the district this morning. Not that we don't want Crest to feel bad, but we needed to feel good about something. They've been losing for years. So it was a good game, and everyone had fun. The students, players love to play on the turf field. That's their one of the nights they could play on the turf field. I just want to thank our local fire companies and first responders for the visits to our elementary schools during Fire Prevention Month. We really value our partnership with our fire departments, and I know that the critical work they do. Just yesterday morning, when I was driving to work, I couldn't go my normal way because a guy in a motorcycle was clipped by a truck. He did make it. He did make it. I don't know his name. At first, they thought it was fatal, but he did make it. But that caused a lot of detours yesterday morning. But our fire department is right on it. And they also come out to our buildings to do this partnership work. But once in a while, a fire alarm goes off for some reason. Thankfully, it's not a fire, and they come out right away. Tomorrow, or Saturday, which will think it's Saturday, Franconia Township Police Department will be doing a drug take-back day at Franconia Elementary. So if you have any old drugs, expired drugs, from 10 to 2 in the Franconia parking lot, you can just give your drugs to them and they'll recycle them or whatever they do. We don't want those drugs to get in the wrong hands, and we don't want them to get in our streams and rivers, because they do kill the wildlife. I want to thank our parents for the support of school fundraisers. Fall is a busy time for fundraisers. Who's a parent in here? God bless you. I know you're asking for a lot. I appreciate that. That does help with field trips, and next week is Halloween for our elementary schools in particular. If you're a homeroom parent, thank you for doing that. It will be our socials, our Halloween grades and socials on Halloween. Okay, I want to address something I saw on social media, and I really sometimes get frustrated. There was an insinuation that we would not support or participate in the new program, Pennsylvania Feminine and Hygiene Product Grant Program. Nothing is further from the truth. We have received notice that we will be getting those grant funds to provide those products and those that support to our young female students. But I want to stress further, we've been doing that for years. That is a priority of our nurses and our phys ed teachers to meet the needs of young women in our buildings. So we are going to receive the money, I believe it's $10,000 to purchase more products, but we will continue to purchase products. We will continue to take donations of products. There's a lot of programming that happens in that area, and I just wanted to set it straight that we do take that seriously and always have and always will. As a big brother or a sister, I take that very seriously, and we're going to move on from there. We do it. The district, this is the good news. I announced one of these grants in the last meeting that we just had there, 34. The district is the recipient of the Public School Facilities Improvement Grant, which includes $1 million for the West Broad project, where the complete renovation is happening along with their HVAC replacement, and $1 million for the replacement. We can choose a variety of schools for their HVAC systems, particularly the old stuff that would go into the Freon that would go into our air conditioners that you can't buy from if you have a car from the 90s. You can't update that anymore. So this $1 million, we are going to focus most likely on Oak Ridge's HVAC system. The first time we've ever received these funds, it's a new program in Pennsylvania, and we're very happy. And you'll hear more about this in the next coming weeks. Mr. Keith, that is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. You want to
Mr.
roll right
Keith?
into consent, please?
I have a question about something Mr. Gallagher said. If I may.
You can come up afterwards, sure, and ask them the problem.
I think it's something everyone would like to hear. It's nothing negative, I promise. I just want clarification.
I don't want to keep opening the door for random, hey, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. Dr. Gallagher, if he wants to answer, he's welcome to.
I will answer that afterwards.
You mentioned that we can donate funds or products for.
I'll have to get more information where that goes.
Okay, yeah, that's just want to know where we can send that to.
Yeah, I'm sure the high school has already sent that information out.
Yeah, thank you.
You mentioned guys, unfortunately, I don't mean to discourage you, sir, but we don't do it during this forum. So if you want to come up to Dr. Gallagher or anybody that can handle it for you, you're welcome. We've never done that historically, so I don't want to start any precedent, sir.
I'm asking for transparency and what's in the money and where we could find it. That's all.
Understood. Dr. Gallagher, we'll give you that information.
I'm sorry, I meant to say that. Okay.
We're going to get that answer for you.
There is a section on our website, comprehensive plan,
On this left-hand side.
There's a section on our website, comprehensive plan. You'll get to see the members of the committee, and as we have information to update, we'll put it on.
I appreciate that.
Cool. Dr. Gallagher, consent action?
At this time, I would like to recommend to the board that they approve the consent action items 7.2 to 7.18 as presented. Board members are invited to remove an item from the consent action agenda if further discussion is needed. Items on the consent action agenda that are to be considered motions for approval are board meeting minutes, financial statements and check postings, approved requests to attend conferences and workshops, ratified requests to attend conference, approved requests for out-of-state overnight field trips, approved personnel items, approved school clubs for the 24-25 school year, approved a 2025 bond issue parameters resolution, approved a revised proposal from GKR Architects and Design for Southern Hills Elementary School addition and renovation, approved the disposal of excess obsolete and non-repairable items and equipment, approved student expulsions, and approved confidential settlement agreement and releases.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. Comments or questions from the board? If not, may I have a motion?
Divide.
Second. I have a motion by Mr. Nelson, second by Mr. Braccio. All those in favor, aye. Aye. All those opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. All right, folks, we're going to move on to future meetings, and we always do. So a couple things for your note. Wednesday, November 13th of this year, SASD Board Committee meeting, 6:30 p.m. back in this building. Wednesday, the 18th of November, North Monco Technical Career Center has their meeting every month at 7 p.m., 1265 Summingtown Pike. Wednesday, November 20th, the NCIU Board of Directors meeting at 6:45 to West Lafayette. And then Thursday, November 21st, we have our board action meeting, which is this one. If you remember, it's the week before the Thanksgiving holiday, which is something we pull in every year. Personally, I want to be here on the 28th for Thanksgiving. I don't think anybody else either wants to be here for that. This is Fliss Accenture at the IU. Any updates on the IU? Okay, easy enough. Thank you so much. All right, according to solicitor, Mr. Gilstock.
I have nothing further to report.
Thank you, sir. Public comments. Mr. Town, back to you.
Dorothy Purney on the topic of expulsions.
Dorothy Purney, Franconia Township. William Formica voted to expel 2 students for inappropriate online behavior last month. The vote was unanimous. You're simultaneously.
Can I just interrupt you, please? You can hold your time. You're assuming it was for online. Don't assume.
All right, but your simultaneous inaction brings to mind a quote by Hall of Famer Wes Fessler. Hypocrisy is the audacity to preach integrity from a den of corruption. And I just wish you guys would speak out and do something about this that's going on and just put an end to this. This is terrible. Why don't we have more information on the agenda items that the list is here? Like, why don't we know why they're stuck? We don't know their names.
We have to protect students' rights. And there's no way that I would ever share what's happening with the students. They deserve that privacy and respect, and it's the law.
So they were not expelled for online.
You are assuming things, and we're not going to talk about it. We're not talking about students.
Okay, then let's talk about Mr. Formica.
I'm not talking about that. I'm protecting students.
We have Catherine Farina on the topic of dress code.
Okay, folks, time out. Hold on 1 second. If there's an issue, let me know, and we'll resolve.
Keeps staring at me for some reason, I don't know why.
I was looking back to who was coming and she just threatened me.
Keeps
So,
staring, right?
I didn't say anything.
Hopefully we'll maintain the civil so we don't have to leave the building.
So you're gonna leave someone that just threatened me?
If she threatens you, please, Mr. Deal, just hold up, Katie. Mr. Deal, would you give us a hand here for a moment? If there's a threat. You want to step outside with those, just have a conversation, it's fair and fine. It's fair and fine.
I wasn't her, she said you wouldn't step outside.
So we can go outside and discuss this instead of interrupting everybody.
I
What is
didn't
wrong
say
with
a
that?
word. She's the one that started it.
You want to discuss that?
Yeah, I do.
I don't have anything to discuss with her.
I want to know why she's staring at me so ugly. Every time somebody walks up to her, she's
Well,
like,
unfortunately, Mr. Deal, we have to get some place to, okay? You want to have a conversation later, or want to go outside?
well, I was
Right
gonna go
now,
out.
right now, we just want to get the meeting going. So be civil,
That's fine.
and we won't look at each other, we won't speak to each other.
I don't have a problem with that, sir.
Okay?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Let's move on.
Also, Deal, the only thing I'm going to ask is we put a zero tolerance policy in. If you're comfortable, then I'm comfortable, but if not, people are going to be comfortable? Let's do it, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the pause. Time is yours.
I'd like to start with a quote. You cannot love your neighbor while supporting or accepting systems that crush, exploit, and dehumanize them. You cannot love your neighbor while accepting less for them and their family than you do for you and your own. I've noticed in the school board meetings that you've been having that Mr. Formica is always wearing a 3% t-shirt. Is that on the dress code? I mean, you guys are dressed very nice. I see almost your school board meetings. You say that you're for all. How can he wear a 3% t-shirt which states he clearly doesn't care who he offends? Character doesn't count. If it did, that shared behavior would not be tolerated. Thank you.
We have Gail Ryan on the topic of board member.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm Gail Ryan, a 37-year resident of Souderton with my husband Kevin. I'm a mom of 3 Souderton graduates and a Souderton School District retiree with 28 years of experience, where I served as a teacher, a coach, a principal, and director of elementary education. During my tenure as a director in the early 2000s, we crafted a tagline, "A district where character counts." We brought in author Dr. Thomas Lacona, who has been called the father of character education, to speak to our teachers, working to foster morals, values, and character development in our classrooms. These universal values of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship span all religious traditions and can be affirmed by all, regardless of race, gender, or ethnic background. I was a principal at Franconia, and I worked with teachers and students to craft codes of conduct, rules we needed to live by in our school to be a community. And we worked with parents to craft this code to make our lives live together in peace. I'm watching the clock here and I want to get to my point. We also heard Dr. Tony Campolo, a professor, speak to our opening day teachers meeting many years ago, and he talked about the importance of helping our students be good in addition to smart, that we as educators needed to help our students be both smart and good. I was disappointed at the August board meeting when not all members of the audience were living their values of respect and kindness. Despite our differences, we need to learn to respectfully listen to those with whom we disagree. But I am here tonight to address the behavior of a board member who violated the code of conduct that we hold for students, teachers, faculty, staff, and administration. Mr. Formica, yes, you made an apology of sorts, but with the misbehavior comes a responsibility and a sense of accountability. If one of the teachers in my building had made the comments that you made online, parents would have been calling me, demanding that their child be removed from that classroom and questioning the character and values of that teacher. There would have been professional consequences as well. As a member of this community who cares deeply about our children and loves this community, I cannot sit by in silence. I long to see our community values upheld as a place where character really does count.
Therefore, Mr. Formica, I find your role on our board incompatible with the values, calling into question your ability to make wise decisions for our children.
20 seconds.
You have brought a sense of shame and embarrassment to our incredible school district that is spread across our county and beyond. As a means of being accountable and taking responsibility for your actions, I respectfully request that you resign your position for the sake of our students, our district, and the reputation of our greater community. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity. I'd like to say we have evolved. I'm not quite sure.
Mr. Shisler, if I may, sir, can you please go to the podium so you can be heard?
I don't think I need the microphone because I don't want to speak too long. I did bring something along that I was going to speak. I'm excited to hear that we have evolved. We can have conversations with each other on both sides of the I think it's great. I brought a speech with me that I spent hours today to get together. I don't see any reason for it. I will only agitate. Now, what I would like to say is that if there is some agitation on the other side, can I come back and give my original speech? Because at this point, I'm excited about what I see here. As long as, if the other side wants to agitate me, I'll bring it on.
Mr. Shisler, you have 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. If you want to talk about that in the remaining 2 minutes, you're welcome to. If you forego your time and you want to come back next month.
As long as it stays civil, I have nothing else to say. I am excited that we've evolved this far, that we can talk to each other. That's what people do, isn't it? That's character. Thank you.
We have John Waldenberger on the topic of character counts.
All right. Going back to my time as a Satterton student, I remember when character counts indoctrination began. It's been used to groom our children to be model citizens for over 20 years here in Satterton. The 6 pillars of character counts are trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Today's theme was honesty, and we all know how dishonest this board is. This board has shown that character only counts when it used as a tool of control over our children, that it only applies to themselves, that it doesn't apply to themselves as elected officials. You can't even hold yourselves to the very policy manual and laws attached to your position that you have the privilege of holding. Here's how some of you have shown us that character counts. You are all supported by individuals who want our children to be indoctrinated by a specific religion shoved into our schools. A great display of fairness. I can't wait till my kids have to recite Ezekiel 23:20. She lusted after lovers with genitals as large as donkeys and emissions like those of a horse. I'm not sure what that has to do with math, though. All of you are part of an organization that openly endorses a dude who respects women so much that he said, I moved on her actually. I did try her, she was married. I moved on her like I see her and she now got big phony hoo-hoo and everything. And they also said that they were, I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted.
Pause in time for a second. Public comment is limited to something related to the board, and I apologize, I'm a bit lost there. I'll let you finish up with your time, but again, public comment is supposed to be something about.
Well, if I wasn't interrupted.
Could actually do something about it. I'm not, maybe I'm misunderstanding your comments, and
I think you might be interrupting me to help me get to my point.
Oh, so, okay, well, we'll turn on.
Can I get a couple seconds back so I can?
You were frozen at the same time. It'll continue.
All right. You can.
Anyway, so yeah, big phony hoo-hoos and everything, and said they were very fine people on both sides at a white nationalist rally where people with torches screamed, Jews will not replace us, while the vehicle killed counter-protesters. Oddly enough, the very people supporting you seem to think that anyone who condemned those events are bad people. One of you have shown us caring and trustworthiness when you made it into the news for the following. The woman told police that she grabbed the keys and started walking to the front door, attempting to leave the residence when blank grabbed her by her purse straps and ripped her backwards, forcing her to stay inside of the house against her will. She told police that blank grabbed her and the shoulders and pushed her against the wall from the front door, and she struck her head on the wall and fell to the floor.
It's been suspended, Mr. Gilbach, let's address you yet again.
Again, well, I love getting interrupted. I don't interrupt you. But then I didn't elect you, I elected them.
Mr. Wallberger, Mr. Gilbach has the floor, if you can't continue.
Well, I don't get to
Mr.
interrupt.
Gilbach, this is your only warning, and you one more time, you're out, that's it.
A warning, because I'm interrupted.
All right, Mr. Deal? Where you at? Mr.
You're really gonna violate my First Amendment rights to finish what I'm
You
saying?
need to go, sir. Thank you for coming out, thank you for your comment.
That's, all right,
Should we stand in recess for a minute?
that's
Mr.
bold.
Wallberger is going to leave the building.
Character really counts, doesn't it? I'm done. I'm retaining my rights to finish recording as a member of the media.
I'm asking you to please leave the building, and I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Deal.
Do you have a press pass?
I don't need a press pass. The First
You
Amendment is my
said
press pass.
you said you were a member of the
Yes,
media.
the First Amendment is my press pass. Thank you. I'm done saying what I need to say. I got interrupted. I'm not the bad guy here.
Here's how it's going to work. If you're not going to leave willingly, we're going to.
Why do I need to leave? Because I was saying what I need to say?
You were asked by the president to
Why?
leave. If you're refusing, then it's going to be trespassing.
That's not
and then you're going to
trespassing.
be arrested.
I have a right to be here as a member of the public.
You're not allowed on the property. So
Nah,
being asked to leave.
I'm going to interrupt. I just said something that was totally wrong. I thought we resolved.
I am a member, I'm a parent, I'm a taxpayer, and I'm a resident. I have a right to be heard. And you can't remove me just for speaking my mind. Transparency, huh? I'm gonna take my time. Make sure my stuff doesn't move. Character counts. I'll be contacting my attorney. Just so you know, this does violate the First
You're going to have to
Amendment.
leave the property.
Okay, give me a second. I'm pretty sure there's an active lawsuit already against you guys for the same exact
That's
thing.
fine, sir.
So,
That's fine.
I can't remove people from a public meeting for speaking their mind. And I will be back next month.
Welcome next month.
And I will continue to say what I need to say. So you guys stop being cowards. There's no reason for you to follow me. I feel intimidated by that. There's no reason to be following me. I am being followed. Like I'm a petty criminal right now. Funny how this works. So I was just forcefully removed because I dared speak my mind, as is my right, at a public meeting because they didn't like what I had to fucking hear. Shame on these cowards and these fucking religious displays across the street being forced in our faces. This is unconstitutional and unacceptable. Because they didn't like what I had to say to address my rights.